Welcome everybody to EX Saturdays, December edition. We are going to be talking about video games here at Low Kick eSports. I'm Dynamite, joined by
Ham Jams
and Seth. We did it.
Welcome. We did it. We did an intro. It wasn't awkward. I only stumbled once over the beginning, so we're already off to a good start. This is the December edition, as we said. We've been doing EX Saturdays monthly nowadays, so just trying to keep things going, talk about what's going on for the month, what we've been up to as far as fighting games and stuff like that go, and the community, because just because we aren't on doesn't mean things don't keep on popping. So we're going to talk about some of those things. But first and foremost, we're going to jump into what we've been up to from a fighting game sense. And only a fighting game since this last month. I'll start. Oh man, I've been dabbling a little bit in MK11 Ultimate since maybe 10 days ago, something like that. Checking it out for the customs. I don't know if any of you have regarnered interest because of the customs coming out or being tournament viable, which I think is really sick. We talked about it a little bit last month, but I hadn't touched on it just yet. But I'm back in there for now. Been having a decent time with it. I will say, despite customs being available, it is a beast trying to unlock gear. Holy crap, that is a effort in and of itself. I think that it's been pretty fun. Rollback is pretty good, but the Wi-Fi indicator means you know that you're playing against Wi-Fi, but you cannot stop playing against Wi-Fi, which is
you will fight Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I think that's the most interesting thing about MK11. It's like, we're gonna tell you that you're playing against Wi-Fi, but you don't get a choice here. This is just what you do now.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
So that's been pretty good for me. Other than that, did a couple of commentaries. I did a 3-day run. I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday run of commentary. So Thursday was Tom, a.k.a. Thomas Winkley of Get Good FGC, and the Online Local, as they've now rebranded themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It ran a charity tournament, an All Blanca tournament. That was wild. That was pretty fun. Big shout outs to Saint Cola, the man himself. And that was pretty good. Then Friday was LKO with Grand Blue. Always a good time. And what did I do Saturday? Oh, the first to 10, T-Bola versus Zach in a Box, which was another charity stream. Shout outs to CIFGC. Arneezy, aka Arnell, ran that one. So I've been doing that as well. That 3-day string I was like, oh, this is what it feels like. I forgot because I hadn't done back to back to
Ultra
back.
Instinct.
Yeah, I haven't done 3 days of commentary back to back to back like that in a long time. So just gave me even more respect for St. Cola and how I don't know how he does it. Whatever brand of coffee that guy uses, I need it. Maybe it's the Red Bull. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the Joe.
He's got the fridge. It's unlimited supply.
It's true. It just keeps filling up every time he closes it. But that's been it for me. Like I said, MK has probably been the biggest fighting game on the list. I'm still once again retired from Street Fighter V. My second retirement stint. It's big sad, but I just can't do it. So, but speaking of Street Fighter V, we're gonna go over to Dom.
What?
So,
Next.
yeah. So I know I got the Soul Calibur background.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I have the Street Fighter poster.
Mix.
When it comes to Street Fighter V, I've been playing it, almost explicitly with stuff. I think I've only had a few ranked sessions, but
you hit silver.
That was just
Yeah, it did hit silver.
I think I'm super silver now, but
Oh.
Regardless, doesn't really make a difference. It's not like I'm practicing learning the game. It's just I enjoy Street Fighter. I've always enjoyed Street Fighter. Street Fighter is probably, as much as I hate to say it, with how 5 came out, there's 2 things to consider. One, Street Fighter always has the bad initial release. It takes many versions for it to be good.
Always.
But it's my favorite, man. I love those characters. I love the way it looks. I love the 2D thing. I've always loved Street Fighter, so it's I can't walk away from that game. I'll never walk away from Street Fighter because it's always there, right here. But in regards to Soul Calibur, I've been playing a lot more of that recently, more than I thought that I would be. In the past, like, I would be like, okay, I got nothing going on, I'm gonna play some League of Legends, and now I'm just like grinding Soul Calibur, I guess. And it's been really fun getting back into touch with the community, because I've been away from it, not really interacting with it outside of, you know, maybe one or two like posts talking about the game. But, you know, now I'm actually like talking to players. We did lobbies in the Discord. You know, we had a Soul Calibur tournament. It had a good turnout. I was really happy about that, you know. Very highly competitive. And I did commentary for that, which was a lot of fun. And outside of that, I believe that is all the fighting games that I have touched as of late. It's just been a lot of Street Fighter, a lot of Soul Calibur. I think I have more hours on Street Fighter for PC than I do Soul Calibur.
Probably.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
That's probably. Seth? How's your fighting game?
I have been playing Street Fighter 5. I've been very much enjoying Redacted lately, but in terms of fighting games, I have been playing a lot of Street Fighter. It's not true. What have I been playing? I've actually been playing a lot of Xrd. I've been trying to get into Guilty Gear a lot, so I've been studying the hell out of it and playing a lot of it within the last, before 9 days ago. I was playing it pretty much nonstop, almost every day. I have offline sessions with my cousin / roommate / tournament winner / best slayer in the Midwest, Loki. That's actually facts. He's the best slayer in the Midwest, which is crazy. So I've been playing a lot of sets with him, getting my ass beat nonstop by him, but he does teach me a lot. There are a lot of resources for Xrd to be thrown my way. I'm just prepping for Strive, man. I just really want Strive to click with me once it arrives. It's going to be the next big thing, and me not being an anime player / Guilty Gear player at all, I'm just trying to take those preliminary steps to prepare myself for when that game comes out. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to make this hard prediction right now. I'm going to be practicing Gear from now up until Strive's release in April.
Yep.
Strive's going to come out. I'm going to pick Giovanna. It's all going to go out the window because I will just be holding forward, right? Never blocking, never doing anything. RC only for the only things I will learn from Guilty Gear is how to do damage. That is it. And I will just take that into Strive.
I believe it because that's your Street Fighter 5 playstyle.
I mean, but Giovanna is hold forward the character. I mean, she gets stronger the more when she builds tension.
Allegedly. We'll see. The character's not out yet. Nobody's gotten their hands on. We'll see. Who knows? She might be one of the most honest characters in Guilty Gear history. We will see. We never know. But visually, it's probably the most one of the most appealing characters I've seen. So I'm definitely going to be
She's cool.
She's cool.
You know who I'm talking to.
She's cool, dude. She's got a dog. You could pet the dog.
I don't give a fuck about petting the dog. I don't care.
Wow.
So
such a meme.
You guys want the lore?
Nobody cares about actually petting dogs.
If you guys want the lore,
in games,
that's false.
Wow.
But we'll let you believe. We'll
That's
let you lie to
amazing.
yourself. You want the lore? Dom hates dogs in video games.
It's true.
He actually does.
I hate him.
He hates, but
like
when you can pet
every
them,
dog.
he thinks the game is bad.
I don't think it's bad.
No,
I just hate the dog.
No.
Like, okay, Metal Gear Solid 5, you got the dog, right? You got D-Dog or whatever. Great. Guess who else exists in that game? Quiet. Why would I ever pick D-Dog?
What about a game where you can pet a cat?
There's not a lot of those.
Yeah, but
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
That's one game.
Redacted.
That's a great game.
No, Redacted, you can pet a cat. You can own it too.
Listen,
It's a side quest.
Miles Morales is a great game for the PlayStation 5 and 4. Try it out. And you can also pet a cat. And the cat actually fights with you.
That is true.
In the costume.
It does.
That's pretty sick.
It is really sick. It like sits in your backpack and it throws hands.
I'm surprised you don't approve of that, Dom.
Yeah, Dom, the cat fights. Like how you box Ham?
Dude, we do be boxing.
Dom told me yesterday he fought Ham for like a solid 30 minutes and Ham won.
He's got those 2D fundamentals now. He used to be a 3D cat. He used to have like 14 frame buttons and shit, and that's like his good punishes. But now he's operating on like, 3 to 5 frames. I'm like, dude, I went to go slap him, and as I went to go slap him, he like command grabbed around my arm, and he wrapped his teeth into my arm. Like, he ripped skin off. I was like, hold up.
He's ascending. He's slowly ascending dimensions. He's going to start 2D.
He's learning the matchup is what
now
it is.
Now he's on 3D, and now he's going to be, well, vice versa. But next he's going to be like doing 4D stuff.
He's ascending dimensions.
He's ascending
going backwards.
So like he went from like Tekken normals to now Street Fighter normals, and soon he'll be anime normals. He's just going to be mashing 2A.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of normal, we've been playing some chess.
I was trying to do the transition for you with dimensions, okay? I was trying to say, let's go.
How does that work?
You're sticking on he's learning, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and then he starts going into the 4th dimension. Speaking of 4th dimensional.
4D chess.
4D chess. I was trying to help set you up, and then you made fun of me.
I dropped the ball on that one. I did.
But yeah,
we were so close.
You guys have been playing a lot of chess. You guys have been playing so much chess. But I like to watch. I like to enjoy chess from a distance. It's not a game that I am mentally capable of doing. So how has chess been going for you guys?
Everybody can learn chess.
I hate it.
Tom, I hate it.
I've been having a good time.
I haven't.
I've really been having a good time with chess. I recently got back into it, actually before Queen's Gambit, but which is a good show, by the way.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Yeah, you never seen it? It's a Netflix show. It's really good.
I thought it's about like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Yeah, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh show.
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card show. I thought so.
Anyhow, chess has been pretty fun. It's actually, so the way that I got into it is I was completely frustrated from a like fighting game standpoint. This is like before I jumped back into MK, and I was like, man, this just sucks. Like, I want to be competitive. I want to like scratch that tactical itch, right? But none of the games that are out, I'm really feeling outside of Plus R, and I like Plus R, but sometimes it's like, for me, I can't. I'm not at the point in Plus R where I can jump in and do it in a relaxed way, where I'm just like, I'm just gonna vibe out to some Plus R. Like I'm
gonna do Michael Sword and it's gonna hit. Like,
yeah, like
do it.
No, it's not. Like, it's still mentally and physically very engaging for me in a technical standpoint. So I don't have a chill mode Plus R where it's just like, I would just hit some buttons and like I'm always like focus in, watch the air dash, make sure you bubble shield this move. That's where I am as far as my skill with the game. So I was like, I need something that is going to engage me mentally, but I'm not constantly like having to. I can take my time, right?
It's not LCS finals.
Unless you're going speed chess,
Well, speed chess is different, but
1 minute.
So yeah. So I got back into. I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to like really, really learn chess. I started when I was really young, and I dropped it for many, many years. And I got back into it. I'm like, I'm gonna start from ground zero, right, and just work my way up. So I've been doing like chess lessons and things like that, as far as like watching videos and stuff like that. And it's been fun. It's been really fun. Dom also said he played chess, so I have to force him now to play chess with me, which is big sad, but I've really been enjoying it.
I was in chess club when I was in high school, and that's where I learned to play chess. Because back in the day, I had a lot of really nerdy friends, and I still do, and I'm one of them, but at the time, one of my friends was in chess club, and I was like, I just need an excuse to hang out with this friend in a place where I don't have to worry about my parents. My parents didn't let me go out too often, but they were like, oh, it's a club, you're at school, that's not actually being at someone's house, that's more permissible than, because dude, if you got a black dad, Puerto Rican mom, you ain't going nowhere.
Damn.
True.
You ain't going nowhere. You're not allowed to leave the house.
Can't leave.
What do you think this is? No, when you get home, you're cleaning.
Yeah.
So, because of that, I was like, I'll just join chess club. And I did. And joining chess club was literally just walking through the door.
Yeah.
And Mr. Foy's was there, and he's like, do you know how to play chess? And I was like, no. And he's like, all right, play against that guy. He sucks.
Damn.
And he taught me. And then the better players from there. And I ended up really liking chess. But it's one of those games where if I'm not actively like in the mood for chess, like I have to set myself up. Dan hits me with the like the fightcade in the middle of the day, and I'm just like, no, please,
now.
Because like chess club was
a
on
new
Monday.
challenge.
It was perfect, like because it was on Monday. It was like, I'm still fresh from the week. I'm coming in. I was settled. But if I get the random invite, if I don't know I'm going into chess, I fall apart mentally. Like, and I play that game. I play that game like I play fighting games. It is very reflective of my fighting game play style. I'm going in.
Well, I mean, warming your brain up to it, will obviously like get your mind used to it. Like you'll just have that back of the mind chess mentality the same way that you do with any video game or fighting game. Chess, you've been out of it for a while, so that way when you hop in, it's like when you take a break, right? When you take a break from any game, like a fighting game or League of Legends, I'm sorry to bring it up, but when you take a break from it and then you come back, your mind is so focused on like trying to remind yourself how to play it because it's not in the back of your mind anymore. So it's like all at the forefront, and then you outperform. Like that's what happens. So with chess, it's like having both. You really want to, the more that you play it, the more that you'll like have stuff just in the back of my, I don't know. I never played chess. Because my family members never played chess. They were all sports people. I had a upstairs neighbor that played chess. They tried teaching me, but I didn't really learn much. I was like the RZA, where the RZA learned chess from his upstairs neighbor, except I didn't sleep with my upstairs neighbor. So that's actually how RZA learned chess, but he was young. But
wow.
Fun fact,
that's lore. I didn't know that.
That's pretty good lore. Yeah. So I didn't like get to know chess until I think recently too, because chess blew up. A lot of different trends happened all on Twitch, and a few months ago, like 3 to 4 months ago, it was chess. Like blew up real heavy on Twitch. So I got to learn.
Twitch Rivals did chess.
Yeah.
They and then Queen's Gambit dropped, and then everybody signed up for it. I think like chess.com had like 100,000 people sign up.
Yeah, exactly.
This month.
Chess.com had, they formed PogChamps, which is because, of how exceptionally it blew up on Twitch. So they had a lot of different chess pros and Twitch personalities come on and do collaborations with chess.com. And it really like reformed how chess.com's website is and its infrastructure. So like that's how the Botez twins, Hikaru, Hans Niemann, who's like one of the youngest GMs in existence, I think, Danny Wrench, who helps run chess.com. That's how I got to know all of them and the chess community. But I didn't really get to stick with it and try and learn it because the chess community is kind of toxic. Because I jumped in like community first, and the community wasn't like a healthy environment for me to want to like learn and grow in. So I was just like, I'll just watch, But chess it's a timeless thing. I remember, Dom, you asked that question a while ago where you're just like, I wonder if any strategies have yet to be done, which is a stupid question because at that point it would be done. If you even think of here's a strategy that hasn't been done yet.
That doesn't mean that it will get done.
Oh, yeah. What? I mean, I think he was just specifically saying he wonders if like all the moves in all the games have been played of chess, like all the permutations.
Yes.
That was the question.
It's
like, has everything ever been done in chess? And the answer is no.
No?
It probably never will.
I don't think all combinations of moves have been made yet. But I think we were talking also about like every possible move ever has definitely been done. I'm positive.
Maybe not though. I can see. I mean, you mean singular move?
Yes, singular move.
Oh well,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe so. But either way, that's been the foray into chess. This is about video games, so we'll get back to that. But I was just going to say it actually has been helping me with my approach to fighting games. Like the way I've been looking at Mortal Kombat and things like that has actually changed quite a bit. I feel like I am seeing things differently as far as my opponent, and it's been pretty good. Thinking about things differently. Well, it's more like this. Like normally when I approach a fighting game, before I really started to like dive into chess, I mean, I am a very neutral based player. I like to beat people on fundamentals and basics of rock, paper, scissors. Like, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking more of what my opponent wants to do to me, and the chances are that they're going to do it specifically. And I'm not worried about as much what the RPS wins in the scenario, and I'm more thinking about what their move is after I do something. It's more about prompting them to do something. And that's kind of what I've learned a lot from chess so far. And I'm just starting, so it does translate over. But I've been having a great time with it. I'm going to force Dom as much as I can to keep playing, because he's the only one in OK that does play, really.
Right.
And next Wednesday, I'll be having a chess stream. I'm going to do a chess stream at 5. I think I said 5 or 6. Something
On
like
your
that.
channel?
On my channel,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Cool.
Twitch.tv/
BLM Dynamite.
You could be
There it is.
climbing the ladder.
More so just hanging out with chat and playing and talking. I enjoy being able to do tactical things and also talk to chat and stuff like that. So and I find talking out what I'm doing, no matter what I'm playing, actually helps when I'm just talking to even if I'm just talking to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I had that yesterday when I was playing Street Fighter 5. When I had to commentate my own matches on stream. That was a challenge, but it did help me vocalize my thought processes and apply those things better. But also my opponent would have been listening, so that was kind of hard. But I can.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was listening to the commentary, and I was like, if he'd have just listened to this, he would have blown up Seth.
Yeah. But he didn't, because I blew myself up, overloading my PC. But that helps us transition into our next points, talking about...
That's not a good transition if you just say it helps us transition.
Totally. What? That...
Yo, these transitions.
These transitions
Man,
are godlike on set.
they
The way
suck
that I'm
today.
setting up these transitions are insane. Who's playing
You
40
can't
now?
pass it to yourself, though. You just...
Yeah, you can. You can pass it
definitely
to yourself.
look.
You can oop it.
Ali,
Dan, you've seen
and then-
I know you've watched a game of basketball where the dudes come up, hit the juke, and then tosses it right up to himself.
Absolutely.
And then windmill
But they
dunks
don't
that
say beforehand, now I will pass it to myself.
I
They
have
don't say
definitely
that.
seen somebody on the basketball court dunk on somebody and be like, oh, and you're like, oh no. And they know that's enough
But
communication
they don't
between
say,
players.
now I'm passing to myself off the backboard
but
and
when
do
you
it.
see them like chuck it at the backboard from half court, you know what the fuck they're doing.
But
know
you
what I'm saying?
literally just said, and this is a perfect transition for... You could have just transitioned into Street Fighter.
Perfect transition, though.
This transition gets worse and worse the more you guys talk about this transition. So, let's talk about Street Fighter V, the end of Street Fighter League, the end of Capcom Pro Tour, and the finals, Capcom Cup announcement, which is February 19th? End of February-ish, which means we're definitely not getting Dan or more content, including the gameplay updates, until February, which is okay. In all honesty, that's fine. It's been really, really difficult for developers all across the board to deliver things on time due to COVID. So we're going to wait patiently, and hopefully it blows us out of the water. But SFL, I think every time we talk about SFL, we talk about how much fun it is now to enjoy, to watch.
Yeah.
And in this last month alone, you had, like, the drama. Because, like, obviously that shit gets uploaded, like, it's pre-recorded.
Instantly, yeah.
But the beauty of it was that somebody Rob TV still uploaded that argument between Punk and Gustavo in the back weeks after it took place.
Yeah.
And they were still butthurt about it. That shit was mad.
It's like that's really playing into production. Rob TV is a genius for that, because he held it.
Yeah. He knew. I mean,
He held on tight.
His
and when
name's
he
is
released
Hollywood, so
That's
he knows
true.
when to hold the footage. He knows when to hold the
true.
footage.
He knows.
Even though I have retired from Street Fighter V, my very short career of 2 weeks, I do enjoy
anger.
SFL. And
Just anger.
It was pure.
It's 2
pure
weeks every
just-
2 years,
No, it's
Well,
once
this
a
year
year.
was coming.
It's
It's
once
once
a
a
year.
year. It's once a year. Once a year, I'll get in for 2 weeks, and then the just dissatisfaction of the characters that I like to play is. Anyway, I enjoy watching it still. I think it's a great game to watch, to spectate, especially with the personalities I enjoy Street Fighter personalities, some of the most in the FGC. Like the people that you have, I almost call them characters, but the people that you have, they're so good to just follow, like as individuals.
They are
like
characters. Yeah.
It's so fun.
They are characters.
And yeah, they are. And then the matches on top of that. And I feel like this year's SFL, I didn't watch as much of Japan's SFL. I've seen some weeks, but it's legendary. Like,
Really
dude,
good.
they
Are so funny.
their players get nicknames.
Yeah.
They get like the
They get the
announcers
sick poses.
They get sick poses. The announcers are great. The commentators are legendary. It's so good. But this year in US, I feel like was really good too because I know we've talked a lot about Rob taking it to the next level, but I also feel like Steve and Vicious were really, they've like solidified themselves as like the SFL commentators, right? Like when you hear SFL, you expect to hear Steve and Vicious go on, and they did such a great job of synergizing and really taking it to that next level.
SFL season 1?
Rip did, yes.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. Tekken.
But dude, like I'll be honest, I agree with that sentiment. But I really just want to see Tasty Steve and Say Jam in the same place again.
That's not going to happen.
It's too much power.
Yeah.
No two men should have all that power. But
maybe for Strive. Maybe for Strive.
Maybe for Strive. But then they'll just monopolize it because of how powerful it will be. Nobody stands a chance.
I mean, what else is new under the
Yeah,
sun?
but Ryan Hunter's out there in the streets.
True.
He is in the streets, but you got to import Imagine Obama too for full power.
But no, SFL. I mean,
wow. Okay, well.
No, I was like, yeah.
But yeah, SFL. Seth, as the resident LK Street Fighter player / enthusiast, what are your thoughts on SFL wrapping up in the format that you hope they do for CPT finals with SFL? Because last year we had the like US versus Team Japan type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing again this year, or have they not said?
They are. From what I understand, for Capcom Cup, it's not necessarily going to be that like separation. I want to say. I have to double check. I didn't notice anything on it, but from what I do know, it is going to be taking place in DR. They are obviously going to have an offline event for this instance to bring the Japanese players and the US players together, taking all the COVID precautions, no spectators, no fans, anything like that. So that's about as much as I know it. In terms of like how I feel about the format, I'm gonna have to double check on it because I just saw that it was happening and I was like, that's great. But
I'm happy that we get to see fighting games happen offline.
Offline, yes.
I'd
absolutely.
be even happier if we could all play them.
I mean,
offline.
We did have like the MK thing, the We Play thing, happen offline.
Yo, that was tight.
Yeah, it was sick.
That production level was next level, dude.
Man, it was too.
I have never seen a
powerful
fighting game tournament that dressed up. Ever.
It was. Like I said, I had started to dabble in MK right before that. Timing was perfect for me because it's like, okay, cool. Offline MK tournament. You had some of the MK NRS legends out there, Big D, Mr. Aquaman, and of course Florida's own Katana Prime, with the butters down there. His hair was looking fresh, for that weekend. But just the production level, like, yeah, it was. To have a company step in now, so We Play does Dota events. So I mean, if you know anything about Dota and League, that's some prime bread right there.
It was European because it was they're a European company, I think, because it took place in Kiev in Ukraine. So not only was production crazy, but they had like a $60,000 prize pool. It took place over the course of 3 days, so they definitely had time to like really like milk that production and allow a lot of the personality to come out. There was just so much time that we had on it.
They also had time to do it safely, right? So that's one thing to mention is that people flew in about a week before. Everyone got COVID tests before they even saw each other, right? Like, so they did the testing right. They did the spacing out of the timing right. Everything was done really well and safely, and I appreciated that. It was just nice to see people playing fighting games safely, but also in person. Like there was a world of difference. And not to say that MK's netcode is bad, because we all know it's legendary, but still, like, it makes a difference being in person, just being there in the atmosphere. So shout outs to WePlay for that. One thing that I wanted to bring up about that is that they really did take a lot of beads from what already was successful in fighting game like events. Like if you look at it just slipped my mind. The summit events. There we go.
Oh.
The summit events that take place over a weekend. So Friday for WePlay was like a fun day. They had like a team tournament type of thing. And I really like that when they're large events, but you have an event that's just for fun. I think there was some money on the line, but it really helps people settle in.
They only had
and it was like a 2v2
players, right? I want to say.
Yeah.
So all together, and they had this time and space to do fun stuff like that, which is great. Because I mean, we wouldn't be able to see stuff like that if it was like open bracket, you know. So I like invitationals like this, so that way production can really shine through. And production was just, you know, we could talk about how on point it was. The stage, the decorations, the costumes, the announcers for like player names and stuff. That was really, really cool. They definitely, and like they got time for interviews and stuff like that. Like when Gur got eliminated by Haitani, and then
oh man, that hurt.
I'm sorry, Haitani, Hayate. When he got eliminated by Hayate, and then they did that interview, and then they were like, they had a lot of time to like give Gur like props and praise him and stuff, give him his hugs. It was, you know, to give the players those, but that's just one example, but to give players that kind of spotlight, you know, with each and every match, that's one thing that invitationals can really, really bring in terms of production. And I really liked it. You know, I had a lot of fun, but props to all the players that were there too. You know, props to Avirk, I want to say that's his name. Avirk. First time playing offline.
Oh, Averick.
Yeah, Averick. There we go.
Yeah,
Averick. I couldn't remember. First time playing offline MK, or in an offline tournament. And
it's wild, right?
There at the Invitational. That was insane. Props to Tekken Master, obviously.
Of course.
Pulling in the Skrilla.
Yep. Foxy Grandpa. Yeah. Foxy Grandpa was...
Dragon Stance Shiva. That was so sick.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere. Like nobody was expecting it. I don't know. Maybe there were some people expecting it, but for me, you know, you kind of know the usual suspects when it comes to MK11, right? And then to see this Shiva come out of nowhere was amazing. So
pulled all four of these fireballs.
All of them.
Yeah.
That was wild, dude. I loved it so much. But shout outs to the players, to the production staff. To the talent that they had on. It was crisp. Like there was nothing that I was like, this looks a little suspect. And I am happy about that because as we all know, you know, new entities coming into the FGC in the past have not been the greatest, right? Yeah. Like it's
especially for MK specifically.
Yeah.
Almost every time something has come around for MK, it's ended up blowing up in a negative way.
Yeah.
So it's good to see a legitimate organization coming in and actually providing good production, good effort, and a legitimate show of care about the game that they're handling.
Yeah.
Now, in the future, they handle another game. You know what I'm saying. It's in the background.
Yeah,
Injustice
Street Fighter
3,
5
yes.
should be.
Damn. It was Soul Calibur. Audio listeners, I got Soul Calibur to my right. And I got Soul Edge to my left.
So speaking of what's next for them, they did announce the WePlay League, right? So this is going to be more of an open format to contend to have a chance to show up in their next invitational tournament, which I think is sick, right? That's pretty cool. So there haven't been much details announced about it, but it's nice to see that this tournament was like not a one-off thing, but they're planning on furthering their kind of advancement into the realm of MK11 and fighting games, because they asked, you know, like, what games would you like to see in this league? So I would assume that they're thinking of at least more than just Mortal Kombat.
It's gonna be more Dota.
Dota. You got to play a game of Dota in between games of whatever fighting game you signed up for.
Actually, League of Legends. That's what it is.
Wow, I severely doubt that, but you know, it we'll see what's coming up, what's new for WePlay League going forward into 2021.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they are professionals, so they're probably going to come up with like really, really fun ideas for the next circuit. Well, but who knows? We'll see.
Hopefully, they can do it in the U.S. if things aren't a little bit of rough when it comes to. All right,
fun in the U.S.
I had to put it out there. Fun. I know I didn't catch you having fun. But speaking of fun, new characters have been released across multiple games, and I always find that that's the shot in the arm a lot of times that games need that have been out for a while. And one of those games being Granblue hasn't had new stuff come out since Belial, since before Arc Revo. But UL has entered the Skybound arena, so to speak. And Seth, you took a gander at her, and had some time in the lab. What are your thoughts?
I really, really enjoy Yule. I want to say that some of the most difficult things for me with Granblue was like finding a character that could click, right? It was consistently, it was just more and more difficult to enjoy the game, enjoy the way that players or characters can do offense. It was more or less like when I started playing, I played Charlotta, and because the reason for that was because that was a way for me to like bridge into anime, but also be on like have the stakes be low. It was a charge character. It was really, really offensive somehow, and I was just like, this is fine. Then I got bullied off of Charlotta.
That's true.
Basically bullied off of the game.
Gaslighted
the hell out of me. And then Jita came out, and I was just like, yo, another one. All right, cool. Let me try and resonate with this character. This is going to be sick. Bullied off of that character.
Gaslighted again.
Can't have fun. Because when I'm having fun in a game, let me tell you guys. When I'm having fun, it's not allowed. It's not. Nobody's having fun. It's a big problem. But
sounds like you should be playing grapplers
to prevent them from having fun. No, but
yes,
Yule came out, and I was like, this is gonna be fun because she's really, really clicking. It was like how I felt with Jita, but she's definitely got way more tools for me to enjoy with. I like her aesthetic. I like her twin blades. I like her stance. There's a lot of more nuance that I have to understand to really play with Yule. She's very aggressive, and I know what's going to happen, right? Because she's a very offense-oriented character, I'm going to play her, I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to get bullied. But I think she's great. I think she's poised for success in Granblue. It's more or less like been controversial the way that new characters have been coming out and kind of dominate. I mean, with the exception of like Soris and Kag, actually. Kag. I guess I'm specifically talking about Belial. Belial was a big problem. Then they just nerfed him. We'll see if those nerfs are significant enough. I don't think so. A lot of people don't think so. But Kag really flew under the radar.
They're decent though, but yeah. I don't mean to know. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kag kind of flew under the radar, which is really disappointing because I know a lot of a lot of people were excited for that character. Surprisingly, it was like she was just way more popular than I had anticipated. So when she came out and you just saw no content made for her and nobody was talking about her, I think it was also at a time where Granblue was really, really dying down because Belial was still running rampant, and then they released Kag and then didn't touch Belial. So people were just like, well, why play this game because this guy still exists? But Yule, with the Yule patch, the Belial nerfs came. A lot of people are kind of flooding back into Granblue. More interest is picking up a little bit, but hopefully it picks up a lot more, especially with the season pass. Or the next character after Yule being announced, the character I've been really excited for this whole time, my boy, King Pringles. All right?
You have not been excited for this character.
Our Lord, right? He's been the most anticipated character.
Stop it.
Of the Granblue.
All right.
Like, the Granblue community has spoken. Really pressing hard.
It's been look, every character has been put to a vote. Basically, the community and the company knows the demands. When they put our Lord, King
Senor
Pringles, Pringles Sama.
You gonna roll the R with it too? All right, look.
That character's fucking
He's gonna
whack,
save
bro.
Gramble. He's gonna save.
I'm not even gonna nobody else is gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Seth's gonna meme about it. Dan loves Granblue. That character's fucking whack.
Meme.
That is the wackest
I don't know
looking
if this
fucking character.
So
I've never
let's
been more
talk
serious in my
about
life.
let's talk about the great things about this character. Has a pole arm, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the style is defensive.
He flies.
Flies, which is also dope. And then that's probably pretty much it. But the thing is, so
he's one of
he's
one of the one of the
Eternals.
legends. Eternals. There you go.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What people are looking for in Granblue at this moment, I don't know. The side games and the developers have said may or may not actually be able to happen, right? Which is obviously netcode improvements, right? So.
And it makes sense, in all honesty, for them to change the infrastructure of the game so heavily. It's like whether they.
It's
hard. It's really hard. What's crazy with Tekken? Sorry to keep cutting you off.
No, you're good.
Like, what's crazy with Tekken, apparently, was that the infrastructure was already there. It was just bad. Like, really bad. Really, really bad. And then they just improved the hell out of it. It wasn't like they switched over from delay-based to rollback or anything like that. Like, it is a very weird, certain netcode that Tekken has, but they just improved upon it. Whereas with Granblue, they would have to switch from explicitly delay-based, and it's borderline, not non-functional, but it's really bad, to rollback. And making a move like that takes
very
forever.
difficult.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. It makes complete sense when they say it's probably not possible.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate. I think that, I'm hoping the game can make it until offline is more prevalent here in the US. I think that, it's going to continue to be supported by side games because they've got gajillions of dollars, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And tons of characters. It's not like they're like, oh, we're out of character ideas, right? Like they got tons of characters, so
they'll always have something to pull from that franchise.
The thing is, Granblue is like super popular outside of the U.S. In Japan, like they just had the Granblue. It was like not an anniversary event. Yeah, it was like a festival type thing. They showed off a little bit more of the RPG that's supposed to come out. I think there's an MMO coming out or something like that. I can't remember.
Something like that.
But Granblue will succeed outside. And like, even though Granblue Fantasy Versus is probably not going to be anywhere near as popular here in the U.S., it's going to still be, loved and beloved outside of it, supported.
Well, Rage, they still have Rage events for it, right? Like Arc Revo Korea just happened, and then there's the Rage events in Japan, which is like one of their circuits for Granblue, and it's being played like mad still, like you said, in Japan, Korea, outside of the US in general. Like, people are playing the mess out of that game still. So I don't know what the fate of it is going to be here in the US, but that just really depends on when offline can happen, which is unfortunate. But, as long as characters come out that people enjoy and want for extended, for really long periods of time, and the character finally comes out, then I think that, people will still gravitate and play the game regardless. And they might flow in and out, but I think it'll be around.
It'll definitely be difficult for it. It's going to be a tough road for Granblue in the U.S., considering the fact that when you think about it, Strive's right around the corner. God forbid any more delays happen to it, but it's coming in April. So if Granblue does get its like window of time to succeed and blow up again, like it's a small window, and it really needs that, because I don't think people are going to be playing it side by side, like in tandem with. Strive.
I'm leaning to agree with you, but I also think that if you think about Granblue is the type of game where you can play it and something else, right? Like, as far as from a technical standpoint, right? Like, you can play that game and play another game. It's not like trying to play two Guilty Gears at once or something like that.
But can you play Strive and something else?
Well, we don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, that's
we
the
don't
immediate
know.
question
Yeah.
is,
That's a good
are you
question.
going to be capable of playing this game and that game?
Correct.
Because this game might be Tekken, and if it, with Tekken,
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah,
Like, if
you're
you're a
only
Tekken
doing
player,
that.
You're only doing
you're playing Tekken.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're probably a scrub.
Wow.
It's true. How many Tekken players are cross-game players?
That's a
Zach
good
and
question.
Buns.
Stop it.
I believe in him. Okay, but anyway,
I believe in Zach too. I definitely think that he can get to where he's trying to get to. But Zach is definitely a Street Fighter player. Like, what do you mean?
I mean, he's even put Street Fighter down. Because even despite Granblue
We
being
did
a
talk
game,
to him about that yesterday.
despite Granblue being a game that you can juggle, it's more or less like, do you have the energy to? Because it's not just the game itself that allows you to juggle. It's a very simplified game, but like having to keep up with it, maintain your growth alongside the other community members who are consistently growing. New character just dropped, new patch just dropped. There's a lot of homework that you got to be doing. To stay in it. It is still anime. There's still a lot to keep up with.
It is. But if there is an anime game that you're going to be playing, that is, you're going to play that and something else. Granblue.
Definitely
is the
Granblue.
one. That's what I'm saying.
Granblue and Under Night, but definitely Granblue. But the concern is Strive might be the Granblue killer. It's good.
Anime games tend to do that in general to itself, right?
Yeah.
Like they tend to cannibalize one another. It's straight up Ava when it comes to like it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But that goes further to what you said. Like the anime game drops, you're not going to just be like, oh, let me get in and just learn the systems real quick. Like no, you're going in.
Yeah.
Like you're either you're learning some shit or you're just immediately being blown up. Like Dom had that experience with Plus R. Christian was just air dashing in on him. He's like, I do not like this. Like I don't
want to do this anymore.
I mean,
check me in Soul Calibur.
That was also me with Plus R, because Plus R is it's really poised for a good online play. It's there, but man, is it beyond. You will hate your friends. You'll hate your friends.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
You'll be stuck blocking.
Or gaslight them, which is my favorite thing to do. But, either way.
I never gaslight my friends.
Wow.
I'm doing.
Ryu is top tier.
Wow.
You dumb fuck.
I'm only telling
Don't
the
ever
truth.
disrespect me.
Wow.
Don't ever disrespect me again.
That's wild.
Pringles got.
Anyhow.
I keep receipts
King
on
Pringles is
everything.
going to save Granblue. Poison's not top tier. Ryu is. Close. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about actual potential top tiers. Let's talk about Huang 2 in Soul Calibur 6. We didn't Huang. Voiced by ProZD, which is astonishing to me. We were talking about it yesterday. We are just like still not ready to
That's
hear him.
the Vasaraga
Yes.
dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still just not ready to hear him do more serious roles, but he's
also
Shout outs
plays
to
a
him
character.
though. Like I've enjoyed his videos for a long time.
Yeah.
He has really funny ones. So
Yeah, we talked about
I'm
that.
glad he's getting work.
Yeah, he's getting a lot
Yeah,
of work
and he's in Yakuza 7 as well.
Oh, that's sick. Okay.
But
Good stuff.
Seth
Good
has
stuff.
already seen him in Yakuza 7.
good stuff, but who's playing that game in English? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a really good dub, dude.
Yes. Finally.
What the hell
Yeah,
is the matter with
but-
you?
Finally.
You are playing
Somebody
a game.
actually agrees
You are
with
playing
me.
as
Okay, so I
Japanese
want you to take
people
a moment.
in Japan.
Yes, but there's something that's very special to me as a Yakuza fan that you can only get from that experience. And I can't talk about it any
can't
further
talk
than
about
that.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so then you
I won't
experience
talk
the
about it
game.
any further than that, but it makes a big difference.
Anyway.
And on top of that, the lip sync, it's spot on. Like I've watched the whole game
Dumb.
from start to finish.
What?
I'm like, dude, this is a great dub.
Lip sync
what the hell is the matter
technology
with
has
people?
been around since the PlayStation 2. Are you still praising lip sync in 2020?
Yeah, but it's really, really good.
Here's my thing, and then we'll move on from Yakuza 7 because I don't want to get spoilers.
Yeah, I don't
because
wanna
I'm
get
only on
spoiled.
3. I'm trying to get
It is
there.
standalone, but I definitely don't want to get spoiled.
If you've played the game
Not
series
standalone.
all the way through in Japanese, I can understand wanting to play 7 in Japanese. Like, to me, Kiryu's voice is Kiryu's voice. Like, I don't want to hear a different Kiryu. Because I didn't play OG Yakuza, right? Like, I started at 0 in the Kiwamis and just working my way up. So, I've always played it in Japanese, right? Because, So, but if you enjoy it in English, okay, sure. That's fine. But, I mean, come on. You know what it is.
Come on.
But
No, I don't. Dude,
Hwang Sung-kyung in Soul Calibur 6. Long thought to have never returned to Soul Calibur due to actual world politics.
Dude, I didn't think a new Soul character was coming to Soul Calibur at all. Like, and they announced like this is the season pass. This is how many characters are coming out, and like it was radio silent for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, are you guys like doing anything? Is anything happening? Like with Dan? So like Seth has this with Dan where they just were like, yeah, Dan, and then they just like months of nothing, and then they're like, yeah, we delayed Dan. I was like, oh. Well, I wasn't excited about Dan, but I was expecting him.
There wasn't months of nothing because they said when Dan would come, and then when it happened, we were just like, "Isn't Dan supposed to be out soon?" And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we have to delay."
No.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah. No. Exactly. No. Oh, okay.
But
it wasn't.
Yeah, with
radio
Hwang,
silence.
With Hwang, it was definitely like it was really cool just poking in, watching people reacting to like getting their character back after all of these years. And Hwang is super sick. He just looks like a Bloodborne character,
he does.
which
he actually does.
He does.
Which is really cool. Like, it's like hard to discuss the character outside of like just like obviously the way he plays. He is like super effective in the mid range, but also my God, is he blowing your ankles off? You will.
Lows?
You will get hit in the legs. And you will block. And then you're going to get hit with mids. His conditioning tools are really good. He has very unseeable lows. He has very seeable lows. He has unpunishable lows. He has punishable lows. He has so many lows that if you don't block low, you will lose the match from just getting hit for like 15 damage at a time. And they're good. And they're very far-reaching. His like very far-reaching ones aren't safe. Like I can crouch grab one of his one of his lows on reaction punish. Like... But he has that versatility. In the mid-range, he's blowing your shit up. It's a lot of verticals, but he has good far-reaching horizontals as well. And he can play fast and slow. He has the talisman mechanic, and I know a lot of people were running -9 Hwang at the beginning, but if you guys are unaware, he starts the match with X amount of talismans, right? And as the match progresses, he uses those talismans for specific moves. Every time he uses talismans... If he goes under a certain amount, he will go into the next round with less health. Once he goes...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But he can also lose talismans. He can go below 0. So people were running -9 Hwang. That's the maximum amount. If you run -9 Hwang, he comes into the next match with 50% HP.
Yikes.
But in the if it's final game, final round... all of those moves that would detract you from using them, you just do. You go into -9. You would just do that. Because you're not going to lose 50% of your health for the next one because there's not going to be a next one. So he can run some really serious, really far-range offense, really plus situations.
So he can just unload the whole talisman clip, so to speak, in last round and not care.
Yes.
I got you.
And that's where he's, I would say, the strongest. Once he's fully unlocked, you get the ability to just go, I can't go -9. But regardless, I think that his neutral is strong. I think that those lows are just, my God. And every Hwang I've played against has been, like, super spamming them. Like, so it's not just like, well, maybe it's just the one guy. I played 20 games against Lolo. He won a round because I refused to block low. I wouldn't do it, and he only did lows. He only did lows, and he blew my ankles off. And he didn't even try mids. He was just doing them.
Just no mids at all. Just imagine.
I was like, bro, like, could you stop tearing my ankles off? But I think that the character is going to be decent. I don't know necessarily if he's going to be like OD, but so far from what I've seen, people have been doing okay with him, but he hasn't really had any kind of like blowout tournament performances thus far. Regardless, I think that he's a cool character, and I'm happy that he's there. And because of that update, they also did a new costume pack. So if you're interested in Tekken characters, you get to make your Astaroth look like King.
That's cool. I'll take it.
Big fan.
Did they add Pac-Man too? No.
What does it use for a weapon though?
What is?
Is it just like a street pole or something? Or does he just still use the axe?
Yeah,
like if you make Astaroth, okay, all right.
He's use axe. Everybody, it's just like a create a soul.
I know, but I'm
thing.
saying like it'd be cool if like you could use like a
Stop
street
sign.
lamp or something. Yeah, stop sign or something.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, Cassandra gets to use like the the rolling pin and the basket, so might as well, right?
Yeah, but Cassandra.
She's
I
plus.
should play Cassandra. That's like my
She's
MO.
plus.
Yeah,
It is your MO.
It is your MO.
But Hilda.
She's just a woman in a gorilla suit.
Yeah, but Hilda.
I mean, it's a gorilla in a woman's suit. Sorry.
Yeah, but Hilda. I do like my gorillas though. I do like me a good silverback. Can't beat a bear
Yeah, I
in a
would
fight,
say-
but can we talk about that for a little bit? How that went on for like 4 days.
I didn't expect it to go that long.
It was
'cause
a
it's a
long
foregone conclusion. It's definitely a bear.
It's bears.
Like
It's bears,
free.
but it was a discussion for a long time. Like
It shouldn't have been.
I don't know how. How did it get there? It's like, oh yeah, this animal's got like 1,000 pounds on this other animal, hits like a fucking freight train, has claws, can rip something's face off, and does. Yeah, dude.
It does. It actively does.
Like, if it slaps you the right way, your fucking head will come off. But yeah, the gorilla, though, in hand-to-hand combat, I almost said it, first off. And second off,
Yo, every day
you
we
really
get
think that a
closer.
gorilla's just out there just
here's how I
duking it out? Like, no,
Here's-
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
here's
not
how I
right.
Gorilla
gathered the data.
smoked.
I watched the bear mirror, and then I watched the gorilla mirror, and both gorillas walked away fine. Bears walked away.
Bears do not walk
destroyed.
away.
Yeah.
Do not. No, they don't walk. One does not walk away. Maybe
they'll
it'll walk
away.
a few feet.
They'll walk away, but it's just like there is viscera everywhere, and I felt horrible. And that's how I knew
Yo, I
that gorilla-
remember him watching the bear
I didn't know
mirror.
you watched the mirror. That's a
He
rough
watched
mirror.
the mirror, and as he's watching the mirror, I just heard him go, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
like he went from "Oh, this is sick" to "Oh."
Also, bears
because
being Seth's favorite animal. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that also
free,
yeah.
100%. No contest. Nothing else comes
Cheetahs.
close. Nothing else comes
Cheetahs.
close. Cheetahs are cool.
if you ever
but nothing comes close to bears. But anyway, bears definitely won in the fight.
Fast cat.
I had to gather data though, because I was just like, gorillas are crazy, But after watching those mirrors, I was like, there's no further argument need to be necessary.
Yeah, because gorillas have the mutually assured destruction moment where they're like, "All right, you're fucking me up. I'm fucking you up. We'll
Let's
just walk it out. Like, forget it. Like, it's not even worth." Whereas bears is like, one of us is going to die.
I'm fighting to the death.
Yeah,
no
like-
matter what.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have that. Bears just kill shit. That's how they eat. Gorillas don't have to do that. They straight up just don't. They're omnivores, which means they're bitches.
All right. So, speaking of animals, Scorpina dropped in Rangers. Battle for the Grid. A lot of people are hyped for the character.
Yeah.
A lot of Scorpina fans out there. One of the OG villains from Power Rangers, so
Yeah.
that's always fun.
A lot of people are
I
satisfied.
saw
with
it.
too.
Yeah, I saw a trailer. Looks cool. Battle for the Grid being one of those team games, so it automatically means I'm ass at it. Just
Yep.
by default, like I'm just horrible.
It's-
It's not even.
I'm
a
always
thing.
happy to see DLC characters come out and people are happy with them. Like whether they
Yeah.
be balanced or people are just excited for it. Like who knows if Huang is like gonna be balanced or not. People are still kind of figuring it out. But Scorpina looks like she is up to par with the rest of the Grid cast because she still has TOD like without Zords, without assists, 0 meter start. Like really strong
Nice.
characters can have that. She pairs well with a lot of really strong characters. A lot of people are playing her with RJ and then like other fillers. So
RJ is still broken.
RJ, I mean, RJ has problems, but he's a very, very contested character. But the fact that Scorpina can pair well into like a really good team comp means that we might see her a lot, which is really cool. She's got it all. She's high execution from what I understand too. A lot of people say
I would
that
expect that.
mobility with her is kind of like you got to be on point with that execution, which makes sense. You would kind of, like you said, I would expect that. Not just because it's Grid, but because like the way that character is, she's very like mobility focused. But the fact that she can definitely hold her own on release might spell doom, because who knows if she's just gonna be just like, if people are figuring it out this easy and then like tournaments happen or stuff like that and like people really start figuring her out, then people are just gonna be like, yo, Scorpina's like just busted, I like seeing that.
Astro came in with the day one tech, and it was looking like day one immediately dropped the Tods.
I like seeing it, but we'll see if it grows to be a problem. But right now, people are very, very happy with Scorpina, and I'm happy that people are happy. I was really excited to get around to playing Scorpina, but I didn't end up practicing Grid. But that's okay. I'm practicing other things.
I think that I really am happy with the way that Inway has been working and developing with Battle for the Grid. You know, it seems like they're, at least from the outside looking in, it seems like they're doing it at a good cadence. They're listening to the community. They're holding community events all the time. Yeah. And the people that are into that game are really into that game.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that stable part of, you know, I'm sure there's fluctuations within the community, but it's nice to see that line of stability, right? I enjoy that.
One thing that I always give credit to Enway for, and a lot of like newer game developers, or at least like newer fighting games that are coming out, is when they do simplifications for accessibility, like to kind of expand their audience. You know, when they like add simple inputs, because as you guys know, Power Rangers has the like one button specials. So trying to do certain things like that to bring in more people actually doesn't hinder like a veteran's ability to play that game. You know, like it's still very hard to play, you know, despite having very simple inputs. It's 4-button. You do have assists, and then you have Zord assists, and then you have supers. Like mechanically, there are a lot of things on top of it, but it is still very high execution. So when people say like, oh, it's got 1-button combos, because Grid also has like simple combos, it's still really hard. You know, it's still like, okay, it's got 1-button combos. You go ahead and try doing Touch of Death. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember jumping in for a little bit trying just to do Mastodon combos, and it was like, dude, this, and they weren't even TODs. It was just like, this is the bread and butter. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit.
Okay.
So, like, this is the beginner combo, and I was like,
I will take plain today, you know. No butter for me. But it's super strong, regardless. You know, for a game to have those simple tools, but complexity beyond that. And I'm really, really excited to see games like that kind of pioneer its way into the scene. For people to start taking seriously, because not every game needs to be anime, not every game needs to be Guilty Gear level, and a lot of people are like concerned, oh, Guilty Gear Strive is going to be simplified, is it going to be, you know, it's going to be Street Fighter 5 and stuff like that. Street Fighter 5 is not easy, you know, dude. Guilty Gear Strive is not going to be easy. Power Rangers, despite having very simple inputs, it's not easy. You know, it's accessible. That doesn't mean it's easy. So when I look forward to games like even the Riot Fighter, like, I'm really excited because it's going to have simple tools, but I hope it's not easy, you know.
Strive is going to be the next sort of check-in point for accessibility versus depth of gameplay. Yeah. And we'll see how that plays out, you know. We haven't got to see much of Strive in this version of it, and right now, at least, every time we've seen Strive, like, mechanically, it's been different, right? Like, at first there was no Gatlings, and now there's like mini Gatlings, more like target combos, and so like,
dude, you feeling like target combos? I feel
like every change that happens, people don't notice or care once they get their hands on it, right? Because the Gatling change people talked about, and it was massive. Then Strive gameplay happened, and it was gone like the next time. Right. Yeah. It was almost immediately gone. Then they did the air dash change. People raved about that for a while, and then you see it, and now they're like, "Yo, the new air dashes are kind of fucked up." Like, what are people complaining about when they're still able to play the game and it's fine? The only valid complaints that people have are that whack ass lobby system, but that's a conversation for another day.
That whack ass UI.
Look, the UI is getting
UI's
improving.
It's
slowly.
Fucking garbage.
The UI is improving. They settled on that lobby system. Now, I like the idea of open accessibility, having it just be locked to one thing. There is no like ranked ladder. There's no casual ladder. There's no battle lounge thing. It's just all one together. So that way you can just press one button and then go into a room, and it's fine. It's cool. And then like lower level players can climb over. You can't hit
one button and just go into a match.
Look, real talk.
That part is what sucks.
Real talk. They can revise the lobby system later on. Just get the rollback right. Get the rollback right. They can redo the lobby system at some point.
Yo, the game could suck and people are gonna play it if it's got rollback.
Just get the rollback right. I'm not saying that the lobby system is good or we shouldn't ask for a better one, but if we had to choose, just please.
Yeah.
Please.
Give us
just
a
get the
rollback.
rollback.
That's
right.
just like the next step. Like that's the next standard for fighting games to come out. Like you gotta have rollback now. It's the unfortunate truth because it's a lot of work for the developers. As we've seen from the Strive developers, they've been talking at length about how difficult that is. Even Tekken, they're talking at length about how hard that is. You know, the infrastructure's already there.
Dragon Ball did as well. They were like, we don't know if we're gonna do that because it's hard.
It's hard.
It's like
it's a lot of work. It
either
really
do it
ups
or nobody's
developmental
gonna
costs.
play that game.
And that's the sad truth, right? It's the only game that has that level of requirement for optimal online play. No other game that does play online has these strict requirements for really good online play, and it's hard because I don't think that it's set yet. You know, GGPO, as open of a platform as it is, and it's a wonderful tool, it's not easy to implement. You know, despite all the tools being there, and they have been there for a long time. Skullgirls came out in 2012. Games before that have been utilizing it with the Street Fighter Third Strike Online Edition. Shout out to Iron Galaxy,
which is available on PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Haha. But
with some of the best art in the business.
That's
by the
true.
way.
That's actual facts. Online edition and the soundtrack redos are really, really sick. But
I didn't really like the art.
We'll talk about that. But I won't. I mean, off stream, okay. But it sucks that that's the standard. It does suck. It's important though, you know, and I think that that's where the split between competitive fighting games and competitive other esport titles is going to continue to show, because with fighting games, you have to be offline, and it's going to be more and more pressing if you don't continuously add rollback.
Yeah. But speaking of split and slicing things in half, a new challenger has arrived to Smash Brothers Online, cutting through the final boss of the game and chasing Cloud once again to another dimension /world/platform. Sephiroth
ruining his life.
Actively ruining his life.
I mean,
Sephiroth
how could he not
appears.
follow him? It's like he's in his mind.
That's
right?
true.
He's just stored in his
it's
brain.
One of, honestly,
he's
Sephiroth
actually like a backup hard drive.
Is one of the best written villains in RPG. Look, are you making that face? You're making that face. But there are a lot of stories that, when you okay, so I studied creative writing for a really long time because that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to work in Hollywood. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a movie. I wanted to make movies. So when it comes to creative writing, when you're making a hero, the villain has to be the absolute antithesis of what the hero is, but they have to share similarities to establish that connection. The Joker to Batman, one of the best hero-villain pairs ever created. Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, one of the best hero-to-villain pairs ever created. Cloud to Sephiroth, one of the best, narratively speaking, in terms of the elements that they have, one of the best hero-to-villain pairs ever, because it follows that formula so well. And for Sephiroth to just be chasing him down, no matter what game Cloud is in, he always is there, and I honestly did not expect Sephiroth to pop up in Smash at all.
I didn't either.
At all.
I thought that.
Even after the boss split, and you just see the thing there, I was like, oh, that could be anybody.
You know what I thought? The second I saw that split, I was like, oh, it's a sword character.
Yeah, that's true.
It.
That's true. I didn't think it was a
sword. I knew it was a sword character.
I was like, I can't believe they're adding another character with fucking sword and all.
You know what's crazy?
I'm like, oh!
We watched it. We watched it live. Dan, you weren't in the call, but we know you were there. I didn't know it was Sephiroth. I heard the first notes of One Winged Angel, and I lost my shit. I didn't even know
it's one of the most iconic games played.
The song, the song is so iconic that you hear that first note and you know what the deal is. Cloud is already starting to chain smoke. It's it's a whole issue, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
And the thing is, the reveal trailer was sick. The gameplay trailer.
My
was
favorite
cool
part
as hell.
is my favorite part is the fact that when they showcase that character later, they also did my favorite thing ever. Softy confirms.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing that makes me
showcase?
happier than when Smash when they do the showcase and they're like, check out this new character's costume, and I was like, Rex isn't gonna be in the game.
Pour one out for Geno fans. It's
Pyra and Mithra aren't gonna be in this game. That's a bummer. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a really good game. Geno.
Rip Tifa and Barrett.
Smoke.
Well, we knew they weren't going to be in the game anyway. So
Sans Undertale.
Yeah, that's true, because Tifa is not for good boys and girls. So.
Yeah, and Barrett's black, so
she's got that.
Not going to put him in either.
Yeah.
So Sephiroth, I think he's cool. The showcase that they have for him was pretty dope. He looks like a strong character. Shout outs to them. Using the Nintendo Switch snap for his neutral air. Great sound effect.
Shout outs to Nintendo for ruining their own franchise by destroying everything anyone could ever love.
That's also true. Seth, you okay? You all right there?
I'm just realizing there are no black characters in Smash. But
there are. Yeah, I just looked it up. I was like, dude, there's actually zero.
There's the Inkling skin that you can
Inkling skin, and I'm pretty sure the Animal Crossing villager.
I don't know.
That's a stretch.
I don't know.
That's a stretch.
How is that a stretch?
There's no character that just is. It's like, it's an option, not this is who they are.
That's still true.
Well, yeah. The villager I'm just saying
is not any different, but there still is no black character in Smash. That's
and I mean there probably won't be. Let's just be for real. Come on. What are we talking about?
That's true. But Sephiroth.
Like, what are we actually talking about?
We are talking about Sephiroth. Sephiroth's busted.
That's true.
First impressions, like even just us watching that showcase, we were just like, oh yeah, he looks busted. And then the character came out, and everybody's just like, this is fucked up. He has
this is OD.
Everything. He actually has everything.
Like, I think he has all the mechanics except for a reflect. He doesn't have a reflect, but he does have a counter.
He does have a counter, and the counter, he does it on whiff too. But it can be broken by stronger attacks.
But he doesn't take the damage.
But he does not take damage. But we don't know because I didn't look it up or test it if he is not in a negative situation.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It could guard break, but who knows? Either way, his kill opportunities happen really, really low. He gets comeback factor with Wing, and with the lower stocks, he gets it earlier, and. He has really, really good mobility in several different tools. Can create a platform for himself with his sword. True. So he's very hard to edgeguard him. He's very difficult to edgeguard. He has some of the best edgeguarding tools in the game. Yeah. Which is just like they gave him everything. They gave him everything. He has everything.
Well, I mean, he's a boss character. I think that if he came out and he sucked ass, like
it'd be disappointing.
It would really suck. Like. It's like people go, why is Akuma so strong in Tekken? It's like because if Akuma sucked in Tekken, it's not Akuma.
I made that joke when they showcased him because I was just like, they got to give him everything. They got to make him super strong because he's a boss character. And you guys clown. You guys were just like, well, they should make Bowser super strong. They should make DDD super strong.
You were saying like this is the way that all the boss characters should be, and now it's like, but they're not though.
Well, Bowser's the fastest. Bowser's the fastest heavy in the game. They could make him better. He's also a grappler.
But he's still a heavy, though.
He's still heavy.
And we know heavies in Smash get fucked up on the regular.
Because of how much they can get comboed, for sure. But Bowser, in the very least, Bowser can, he has armor. And he doesn't go anywhere because he's still a heavy. And he's fast as shit. Bowser's sick, dude. I love playing Bowser. That's my main in Smash. But, which is really surprising. I don't play it. Yeah, I love Bowser. He's tight. But I remember when K. Rool was a problem in Smash. That was massive. That was fun too. DDD also a problem at some point. But I don't know. I like when boss characters are super strong. I like when
I mean he's a paid for boss character, so I assume they were going to make him super strong. We'll see, as far as the how it actually plays out. Yeah. But again, Smash, one of those games where I don't really follow it that closely. So, we'll have to see when more notable tournaments that don't get shut down are able to be played. Woo! Speaking of Nintendo, anyhow, I think that's a pretty good summary of all the characters that have dropped in the last month, winding down 2020. At the end of the day, nice to see that characters are coming out at the end of the year, right? Because usually there's a big down period when it like November, December area for games. But this year, given everything that's been going on, I guess, the release schedules have been set so that, games still have that momentum because the tournaments and stuff aren't going to happen.
Right. Yeah, planning for content releases and even events, if you're that kind of developer, must be really, really difficult as a developer, like with the COVID situation. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's you got to think that thinking about the year in retrospect. In January, there were a ton of things planned, right? And then COVID happens. They have to just from a corporate standpoint of reworking your roadmap and trying to consider what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. That had to have been a nightmare to have to to try to figure out. So. The fact that some of these things did manage to drop when they did drop is great, and always nice to see new stuff for the games that you enjoy. But
I got to see a bit of it. In fact, almost my entire season's worth of characters for Soul Calibur was dropped during COVID.
It's true.
Damn, must be nice to get content for your game during COVID in 2020.
You got Champion Edition.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right, cool.
The definitive best version of Street Fighter V.
Facts.
Free.
Facts. I mean, it's one
probably,
of those games.
like I said, best as far as like bang for your buck for a fighting game, best deal is still around.
Yeah.
$30. Hands down, it's a fucking affordable.
Yeah.
And that matters.
Yeah. $30.
Grand Blue.
Get
your shit together. Ain't nobody
tag.
paying for that shit. You
Dragon
think you get
Ball.
after those liberties of fucking charging like $30 fucking for a DLC pack? Ain't nobody playing that shit.
You know what?
Please stop.
It's the way here, dude. Right? It's the way that those publishers handle that, because Arxis just makes the game, right? But Dragon Ball, Cygames. I say Dragon Ball because I don't remember who publishes it. Cygames.
Dragon Ball's also very expensive.
But why is BB Tag so expensive? I don't know. Why is that?
There's an affordable version of that game.
Is there?
It took a while to find in the PlayStation Store, but there's like a bundle of sorts. I did buy it when I had money to buy DLC for things, but
I don't know, bro.
There exists a version of BB Tag that is semi-affordable, but Dragon Ball and Grand Blue
are
both
not
affordable games.
True.
It is indeed. Well, like I said, I think 2020 in retrospect, I appreciated the fact that despite COVID happening, despite all of that happening, there was some elasticity to the community that had events going on. We scrambled to do things. Even here at Low Kick, we were like, pour one out. I'll always say this, pour one out for Roundhouse, because it never happened. And it's one of those things where you think about it in retrospect and you're like, man, this year could have been really different. But what we did have was events, charity events going on out the wazoo. Big fan of that.
Right.
A lot of places did have to change their event structure, and the community helped them out. Obviously, we lost some places too, which is always disappointing. We lost some tournaments, which is always disappointing. But I did appreciate the fact that the things that we could save, we did, which is better than it all going away, because no one knew what the landscape was going to look like in March. Nobody knew. It was a big question mark. And that's what I appreciated from the community the most. We always talk about, it's Tuesday, it's time for a blow up, and, especially with the FGC. But, and there were plenty. There were plenty.
That's true.
There still are.
They're still happening actively
not
right
over
now.
Yet. It's not over yet.
But I did appreciate the people that did come together, the people that did continue to run events, and the people that, stretched and tried new things during COVID. And so I hope that continues into the new year. But that's what I enjoyed the most about the FGC in 2020 was the resilience and the determination to keep doing as much as we could. And I really appreciated that. From top to bottom, too. Organizers to participants to, spectators, all of that.
Yeah. In all honesty, like the adaptability that the FGC had to come together, just keep itself alive. I know we talked a lot about how fragile the scene is at times. Not necessarily like... it's more or less how many things can come together as a recipe to just destroy this scene when it comes to the pandemic, when it comes to player attitudes, and like misconduct in the community, behaviors and stuff like that. There are a lot of elements when put together can really tarnish and destroy potentially the reputation of the FGC, the integrity of the FGC. So for the people to come together to like leaders, like community organizers or tournament organizers, people who are putting codes of conduct and rules and certain things in place to help lead and guide members of the FGC as a whole. Like, we can't be more thankful enough to those members of the community, those people who really stand up and take point in a sense. That's really what we've needed throughout 2020. So yeah, in retrospect, like, it is allowed certain members to take those opportunities to step up and be leaders, and that's what I've appreciated about this year, at least.
Nice.
So if you wanted to hear what I'm super happy about, it's gonna sound fucked up off the bat, but just understand there's more to it.
It's on brand for you.
I'm really happy that the summer of 2020 happened to the entire fighting game community and Smash as well. It was one of the most horrible, long-standing events I've ever seen in a blow-up of a community ever. Everybody outed as horrible humans. But the reason that I'm happy that it happened, and I'll keep it brief, we got rid of those motherfuckers, and we're going to continue. Like, the attitude has changed.
Right.
It's like, now I'll say that it has created new problems in the community of over-policing. Now, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like everybody's, like, very temperamental. Everybody's on guard. But if you're a bitch, you're gone. Like, and it's easy to... Now, obviously, we've seen some stuff like, like the lists. It's like, these players are banned. It's like, are they banned? Are you really doing this? Who are you? Are you talking to us? But whatever. But I think that blow up this summer was the highlight of the FGC to me, because the reaction was very positive. We had that big TO meeting. There was like 100+ people in a Discord call from all over the world.
Yep.
Like from every game. Even games like dude, and now very active person in that very Discord. There was a Gundam player in there. Like, there was a Maxi Boost player, and it was like the game before Maxi Boost, because I didn't play, But everybody came together to make the FGC and the Smash community a better place, and we got rid of some serious bitches. And there's still investigations and stuff taking place, and the aftermath has been so serious that the entire code of conduct for Smash has fallen apart. Like, that panel is gone now. They just couldn't handle it. But there are still people that are fielding these kinds of things, and at least at an individual TO level and at a grander scale, we've come together, we have rules, and those are soon to be published when the website gets put together, because that's still in development. But
yep.
I think that was a really good thing for the year.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna really set the precedent for next year if offline events come back in the U.S. or on a global scale, how we're going to be able to conduct ourselves and ensure and hold accountability to those players, because a lot of this stuff happened obviously this year where nothing was happening. So to see how it translates over once offline events come back, people like myself are definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. Just who's showing up? Which one of you bitches is feeling brave enough to put your face back in the scene? We'll see.
It's going to be Filipino champ.
Oh.
Damn. The one thing I try to not do was name drop people, Dom. And
well, we're here now. Anyhow.
I've been right every time.
He has been right. I will say that. He has not missed yet.
He don't?
Ever.
He really don't when it comes to this stuff. Somehow. It's like his curse, his blessing and his curse at the same time.
Because I only know when things that are bad are going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I never know what good is coming.
Yeah, it's actually true.
Such a cynic.
But, you know what? I think moving into 2021, I want to see online continue to be important, even when offline events come through. I that's what I want to see. I want to see the infrastructure for it, obviously with rollback. But I want to see online continue to matter in a meaningful way. And the reason I say that is because the proximity of competition when it comes to the US is very difficult just because of geography, right? If I'm in New York, my chances of playing someone on the West Coast or in the Midwest, more so the West Coast, is in a meaningful way, like in a way that's like, yes, this feels good, I can learn from this, is heavily dependent on that infrastructure. And when it comes to like international competition and the growth of a game, that infrastructure is going to have to matter, because you need to be able to do that. Like in Japan, you can do that. Like you can be from Osaka and Tokyo and it can be okay, you know, and it's like, cool, let's just play it out and we can learn. But you can't, like, it's just very difficult at the moment. It's getting better, but if we want the games, the FGC, to continue to grow like that, then online also has to mean something on top of how easy it is. Like the online events have to actually mean something.
Right.
And we need to figure out what that is, but that's my hope for 2021, is that you get more online events and more infrastructure that actually means something. Whether that's prizes or recognition or opportunity, whatever it may be. That's what I want to see come out of 2021. Because I really don't think we're going to be doing offline events until the latter half of 2021 anyway, the latter quarter of 2021. Mm-hmm. But to me, we already know what it is. Like one thing that that fighting game players pride themselves in is being able to lab a situation out, right? So 2020 was this is the situation, and 2021 is now we can prove that we've labbed the scenario, because we know what it's going to be, right? Offline events are canceled, and it hurts to say, but they're just going to be, like, they have to be. And so let's take this year 2 and lab the match. Now that we've labbed the matchup in 2020, and let's go out and kick some ass about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it's going to be an ever prevalent challenge for the FGC to kind of retain that online infrastructure, to grow it, because there is a lot of resistance, admittedly, in the FGC, because a lot of people hold those grassroots core values, meme or otherwise, very, very closely. So
random ham?
Yeah, dude, what's up? But there's a lot of resistance to do so, because this was even before COVID. A lot of people were hesitant about the switch over from FGC into eSports, and I know that that's one of the things that Low Kick has been trying to slowly implement and take itself seriously on, is the way that we adapt that eSports culture while also, we're trying to play both fields as heavily as we can. We understand that growth lies in that, eSports production. You have to find that balance. And when you're trying to build an online infrastructure where there is essentially no, because most of what makes the FGC special is, pop-off scenarios, being able to be with your opponent at that time, the playing up the entertainment value of that. You don't get that in an online space. When you're on online space, it is primarily the game. And whoever's commentating it and the players at face value. Everything is at face value. And I think that a lot of people in the FGC who are not familiar with esports or not necessarily wanting to be a part of that realm are going to be they have to open up, that they have to be a little bit more open-minded and accept that that's kind of the avenue that we'll have to edge ourselves into, because when you have conventional esports like CSGO, like Dota, Rainbow Six League that are primarily online based in the first place, that's how they grow, and look where they're at, right? That's where sponsorships lie, because that's also where accessibility lies. It's not just where the money is, it's just where, like you said, the online infrastructure is there for opportunity, and opportunity is not all too prevalent in the FGC. So one thing that hopefully going into 2021 is, yes, I would like to see it, the online and offline events grow in tandem. If we do get offline events in 2021, I would love to see them operate in tandem, but I hope that in doing so, people are much more accepting of esports culture, and allowing that to, be one of the big elements in the growth of the FGC. I hope people come to understand that that's what the scene would need to grow. So by focusing a lot of energy, time, and resources into online, people are much more aware of that, and we can lean more into that comfortably as a community.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all I really want to see, to be honest, is first off, I want to see my homies.
What? Nah.
And
I'm
go out drinking, and I'm not even like getting trashed. I just want to like drink a beer with a homie and just be like, yo, dog, like last year was crazy. But what I'm really looking forward to, and I know that just kind of ties into what I just said, is for specifically FGC, is the post quarantine, the post quarantine glow ups. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It sounds really simple. I just want to see how everybody's looking after this is over. We all look like ass in some way. I don't get to get my hair cut anymore. It looks like shit. My beard is like ascended my neck. I just want everybody to look good. Like, I'm looking forward to specifically that first big one, because everybody's gonna look good and it's gonna be a blow up. Like, it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be like the good one. We're gonna have that one good one. We're gonna pick our best games. We're gonna run our best games. The games that have been supported throughout LKO and stuff like that. We're just gonna have that one big one. I want to do that shit up hard body, and that's what I'm looking forward to. FGC related is that first big one.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Like, it's gonna be great. And if it's not us doing one first, I mean, we dropped the ball. But if somebody gets there faster and everybody feel comfortable going to this big one, then yeah, like, I want to go to that. I want to go. I'm going to bring in a flask, I'm going to be bringing the arcade stick, a flask, and a pack of Newports, and I'm just going to go, I'm taking Dave with me. We're just going to talk about life.
Oh, man.
But that's what and I'm also looking forward to seeing Dave's kid. I haven't seen
yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been able to see it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to see Dave's kid.
It's going to be a year old, but...
Yeah, true.
That's wild, but
Rick's
it's
kid
true.
too.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But,
well, I think that we've got a lot to think about moving out of 2020, but I'm hopeful that 2021, at least knowing what the situation is, will help. And planning for that is being able to plan for the situation is always better than just dealing with the surprise bomb that 2020 was. So, I'm thankful for that. I'm glad that we brought back EX Saturdays, after the hiatus. It was fun.
Yep.
And I'm more
The hiatus was also fun.
Yeah.
The hiatus was nice and needed, but I'm also looking forward to seeing what it do in January, which is when we'll be back. So if all of you who are listening want to know, that's when the return will be. We're going to do it once again in January. But until then, thank you all for listening, for tuning in. Hopefully you have a safe holiday season, happy holiday season, and a good new year. And we will talk to you all in 2021 of January. Until then, I've been Dynamite.
I've been Ham Jams,
and
I have one more thing that I have to say before this is over. I don't know if you've noticed, but Astaroths have been appearing on my screen more and more. For audio listeners.
We apologize, audio listeners.
Audio listeners, I've had it like, the background. You're going to have to catch it on YouTube. And I've slowly been adding Astaroths to my background.
I have not noticed that.
Oh, yeah. I saw the first one, and I was like, who's that rock man? And then I saw the second one. I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw the third one, and I wanted to, like, shut off his camera feed just for a good meme. Sorry, audio listeners. You guys have been missing out. But you can catch this over at twitch.tv/lowkickesports once a month. And then you can check out the VODs over at youtube.com/c/lowkickesports. You can also catch our podcasts on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts if you listen to podcasts. So wherever you're listening to it now, there are definitely other resources. So yeah, these will go up within the next couple of days. But thank you everybody for watching, for listening.
We're just going to write over my outro?
Dude, I didn't even get to finish my final thought. I literally just got to mention the character.
I thought that was what you were doing. All right.
No, my final thought is that if you think that this very happy man behind me, this grappler, this very strong boy is top tier, then you suck. Like, you are bad at the game, and I hate you. And the discourse has been really bad for the past few weeks. And it has also made it hard for me to play the game online, because now when I command grab somebody after whiffing like 10 of them in a row and dying for it repeatedly, when I command grab somebody one time, they DC on me. They just straight up disconnect because they're like, this character's cheap because stupid people don't know how to tech grabs. I'm going to say this right now. Play any other fucking game, you stupid bitches, where you can't tech command grabs. That's it.
That was the Ham Jams tangent. Thank you for tuning
Fuck
in.
you guys. All of you.
Dom is
introducing our preview to our next segment for 2021, starting in January, the Ham Jams Jam of the Month.
Where he talks
was
at
a little
length.
Taste. That was a little taste of it. We'll catch you in 2021.
Yeah.
All right, I already did the sign off, but Seth, go ahead and
Yeah, I'm signing off. I'm Seth, Low Kick Simp. Catch you guys later. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
We can't say that anymore.
Hello.
Audio
Cut the
listeners,
feed.
I'm
We're
sorry.
done.
Cut the feed.
We're out of here. Bye, everybody.